All right, so I got my little off-grid solar system about 85% up and running. So what this is here is the MPP LV6548, 65 because each inverter can deliver up to 6,500 watts, and it's a 48 volt system. So as you can see here, I got my solar wires, my PV cables coming through the wall here. And you can also see the black and white, that's the ground for each system. So that comes up, that goes to these 4 disconnects. Each one of these disconnects are connected to an inverter. And they also have 2 inputs on the disconnect, which is perfect for the 6548 because it also has 2 inputs. So each one of these inverters are capable of delivering 120 volts. They can't deliver 240 solo. So the way you will get your 240 volts is by using the line wire from each inverter. That'll go on your, you'll have one on each bus bar. And then, you know, if you use a double pole breaker, that'll give you your 2 lines for your 240 volt receptacle. So right here I have 2 15 amp receptacles on this panel, and I got that 50 amp receptacle right there. So the purpose of this 50 amp receptacle, I'll go ahead and pull that cable out real quick to show you. Looks like your a typical 50 amp drawer cable. I believe it's a 14-50 is the nomenclature. So this breaker is turned off right now to that, so I'm just doing that for demonstration purposes. But as you can see, the 50 amp cable over there just goes right over here to this transfer switch. Line up the contacts. Go ahead and push that in like that. And then that should be able to deliver 50 amps to 240 volts from your panel here to your transfer switch. So I have 2 of these transfer switches because I have 2 electrical panels. So I wanted to be able to deliver 50 amps to each panel, and that was really why I decided to make 2 separate systems. So I thought the inspectors probably would have said something about how low this panel is, but because it's an off-grid system, they weren't concerned with it. And then if it was going to be hard connected to the main panel, then it would be considered a sub panel. And there was no minimum height for that. Only, I believe, the minimum height for the main panel is 48 inches. So one thing I am still waiting on is I ordered a couple 48 volt batteries. I decided I was going to use these 4 12 volt batteries for a different 48 volt system. The batteries I ordered, they're more like rack batteries, so I wanted something like that. So once they arrive, I'll be able to configure each system to do split phase. It's called for by the manufacturer to be connected to a battery source while in a split phase configuration. All right, so I'll go show you my array. So this is the solar array. I'm using used panels, not sure of the age. And I also am using the Iron Ridge rails, the 17, I believe it's the 17-foot rails. I was thinking when I built this, I was going to have to use cross bracing, but once I put the rails up, it tightened it up, that I don't think it was necessary. So each inverter has two PV inputs, two positive, two negatives. So the way I have these panels configured is each input will have 5 panels providing power. I'm sorry, it'll be 10 panels providing power. Those 10 panels are going to be configured in 5 series, 2 parallel. So I'll take 5 panels, connect them in series, then parallel those. So that'll go into one port of the inverter. And then in the number 2 port of the inverter, there'll be 10 panels configured the same way, facing west. So this is my south facing array, my west facing array. So that's it, the LV6548 system, right now configured in 120 volt mode, waiting on my battery so I can get this thing 100% up and running. What I'm going to be using it for when I'm not providing power to the house is basically the things I use in the garage, tools. Also going to be using some grow lights to test out some winter growing in the garage, and also going to be running a small Bitcoin miner. So when I'm not doing that, or when the time calls, I'll be connecting the cable, the 50 amp cable, to the house, and hitting the switches and providing power to the house. All right, thanks.